What's going on, everybody? It's 8:30. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. Ugh. My hair is a disaster. I didn't want to blow dry it because it's too fucking hot. So I didn't. So I'm a damn mess. But what can you do? It is what it is. It's freaking hot. So hot. How are you guys? What's up, Scott? Hey, honey Ange. Hey, Stephanie. What's going on, Thomas? I love that when this all started, you guys used to say hi to me. And now when you guys sign on, you're like, what's up, everybody? Because you guys are like a gang. You're a horde of thugs. You got your shirts, Madeline? Yeah! Hey, Barbara. Tell Tim I said hi. Hey, Ash. What's up, Tracy? Hey, Patty. What's going on, Billy? Hey, Becky. Patty says she got one of the two. All right, well, most likely the other one is on its way or it's in my car. I'll give you guys an update on the post office. So, Wednesday, do you want to come in and say hi to everybody? So it says on the coaster, no, excuse me, I'm grabbing the coaster. It says on the video that I am full of good and bad news, and I am. Ooh, I love that you guys are getting your shirts. Nice, Laura. I'm glad you got it. What's up, Donna? You got yours too. That's fantastic. Hey, Gomez. Wednesday, what are you doing? Do you want to come over and say hi to everybody? She's just laying on the floor looking at me right now. I danced when my mail came in. So fucking awesome, says Michelle. That is fantastic. Sharon says I ordered mine last night. That is awesome. What's up, Joe? I love the purple thong that was included with my shirt. Very funny, Sean. Oh, there's my co-host over there. Knocking off the fucking pillows off the couch. What's up, Fernandez? Wednesday, you want to come say hi to everybody? What are you doing? Look at her. Seriously. What are you doing? Yes, I have Skull and Crossbones boxer shorts on. Hey. And there go the pillows. And, ooh, she got two in one shot. Hold on. And she's going for number 3. Is she going to get it? I feel like I should have a little ding, 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 ding sound effect when she gets a pillow off the couch. What are you doing? Are you chewing? Don't you chew on my pillows. No, no, no. It's like living with a drunk child. It's like if you got your 3-year-old wasted on tequila and then just let him rip around the house. I'm not saying to do that. That's child abuse and child endangerment. I'm just saying if you did it, your kid would act like this. Okay, so let me run down some of the good news and the bad news. Good news. She only got 2 pillows off the couch. Okay, good news. 85% of the t-shirts that are from the first wave, which is the initial weekend that they were on sale, have been mailed. Bad news is the other 15% are in my car and won't go to the post office till tomorrow morning. So good news and bad news. Good news, I was incredibly accurate with my inventory list. Bad news, I wasn't perfect. So out of all of the shirts that you guys ordered in the first wave, I miscounted by 3, which you got to, with over, I think, 414 shirts in the initial order, I messed up 3. Not bad. So there are 3 of you, and I don't know who you are, that ordered your shirts the first weekend and you ordered more than 1. For some reason, I screwed up and didn't order 3 extra large shirts. So out of all the shirts, I'm short 3 XLs. So there's 3 people who ordered more than 1 shirt and one of them was an extra large. I screwed you and I'm sorry. So here's what I'm doing. I'm shipping the other shirt you bought. And then the 3 extra larges, when I get the next wave of shirts, they'll get mailed out separately. I'm sorry if you're one of the 3 people that's going to be waiting for those extra larges. I suck. I'll try to make it up to you somehow. But out of over 400 and however many shirts, I screwed up 3. So you guys got to You got to give me something. Jeff says, when I saw the package at my door today, I knew it was my shirt. Hell yeah. And no, I didn't give out 3. I didn't order enough. I cut my order short by 3. And I suck. So not bad. I bet it's Tom Miller's. Actually, Renee, no, Tom's. So listen to this, okay? So my mom and my Auntie Ange stuffed all the envelopes and helped in a major way. First of all, my Auntie Ange wanted you guys to know, because she saw someone comment the other night, that you got your shirt. And in it, there's a thank you letter, and there is some old AAF bumper stickers from my personal stash, because I'm a pack rat. And I wanted you guys to have some old AAF stuff in case you weren't able to get your hands on anything when the station went off the air. And then there's also one of my 8x10s that I had printed for my trips overseas. Somebody commented the other night, said that they got their shirt and that you thought that my 8x10s got printed with my autograph on them. And it was very upsetting to my aunt, because my aunt has been sitting in my dining room with my mother and me packing envelopes during a global pandemic, and my aunt has been watching me sign every single one of the pictures that you guys are getting with all of your t-shirts. So no, those pictures did not come printed that way. I am signing a thank you to each one of you that's going out, because I love you guys. So there you go. So there's only 3. And you guys are being super cute, and you're offering to like pay for them and whatever. They're already paid for. I just forgot to order them. And Brian is going to put 3 more extra larges on the next order I put in Sunday night. They're just, all I'm saying is that those 3 people, your extra large shirt is going to be a little bit delayed. And I apologize. But the other shirt you ordered with it, you will get on time. That is going, I have become very good friends with Robin and Sam and Joe at the post office. We spend a lot of quality time together. They have been amazing, and they are shipping shirts out like mad. And I can't say enough about everybody that's been at the post office. I love this. Edward says, you need $100 million Joe Rogan podcast deal. Let me just put this out there right now. If anybody wants to sponsor my podcast for $100 million, or Spotify or Apple or Google, or anybody wants to give me $100 million for my podcast, you go right on ahead and call me immediately. Speaking of the podcast, number 1, if you are here and you missed the announcement about the Mistress Carrie podcast, it's a real thing. The Frankenstein monster is alive! And it is, the link is up right on this Facebook page. You can check it out. You can search everywhere that you listen to podcasts, and you can search for the Mistress Carrie podcast and subscribe. And I bring it up because I thought this was really cool, and I wanted to tell you guys this. Radio.com has added my podcast as well. So pretty awesome for my old company to want to feature my podcast on the Radio.com app. And so if you already had the Radio.com app because you use it to listen to Hillman, or you still use it to listen to the music on the WAF stream, or, you know, you just had it for whatever reason, maybe you like listening to Bedtime Magic with David Allen Boucher. Whatever reason you have the Radio.com app, my podcast, I got the word a little while ago that the Mistress Carrie podcast is also available on Radio.com, which is really awesome and gracious and sweet. And I thought it was thoughtful and a fantastic surprise, and it's pretty badass. So thank you guys. Somebody is talking about the playlist. So here's one of the things that I talked about with the podcast is that every week when you get a new episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast, there is also going to be a corresponding playlist. So because I can't put music in the podcast, I still want to be able to turn you guys on to new music and new bands. And especially if I'm interviewing a band and we're talking about specific songs, I want to make it easy for you guys not only to be able to find them, but also to hopefully turn you guys on to some bands that maybe you've never heard of before and wouldn't have heard otherwise. So every week I'm going to be putting up playlists of new music, old music, stuff I'm listening to. And yesterday I put up a playlist of all of the music that I was listening to while I was packing the t-shirts. And there's all kinds of stuff on there. There's Crowbot on there, the Black Moods. There's the new Pretty Reckless in there. There's some Godsmack and Volbeat. And that playlist is linked on this Facebook page. It has the same artwork for the podcast up there. But I want to have you guys still come to me for music suggestions, because I listen to a lot of music and I want to be able to turn you guys onto some new music. And so you're going to get a new playlist from me every week as well. And I'll be sending that playlist out on Twitter. I will be putting it up on Facebook. It will be linked in the description of every podcast. That way, you guys will still be able to find out awesome new music and maybe some older album tracks or whatever that you really didn't hear that much. So everybody, I apologize for being a minute late. Sorry, Amy. So that's what's going on with the podcast. So click the link, subscribe if you haven't already. Did you miss the story about the intro music? If enough of you missed the story about the intro music of the podcast, let me know and I will retell the story. I hate to be repetitive for the people that have already heard all of this stuff. Hey, Wendy. But I want to make sure that you guys are hearing everything, and I know you can't watch every night, so Kim says, I got my t-shirt, Tom, neener, Tom. So let me circle back around. So Tom is always commenting about where's my damn t-shirt. So when my aunt, who hangs out with us in the war room all the time, packed Tom's t-shirt, she was like, should we mail this one or should we make him suffer? And I was like, oh, nobody can ever question where I get my piss and vinegar, because I'm learning it from the OGs, my mom and my aunt. So Tom, not only is your shirt packed, but my aunt packed it and joked about not sending it just to bust your balls, but we sent it. So it should be getting there in the next day or two. I hope you love it. You guys are already tweeting me pictures wearing these shirts, and I love them. So tweet them to me at Mistress Carrie on Twitter. Tag me on Instagram at Mistress Carrie WAF. All right, so here's the story about the podcast. So as I was just explaining, you can't use copyrighted music on a podcast because a podcast is downloadable. So you can either stream a podcast or you can download it right onto your mobile device or whatever, and you can listen to it all the time. And now people are explaining the story for me, which is great. So I called Sully from Godsmack and told him that I needed some music for the intro of my podcast, that I wanted like intro music, and like a wrestler, or like, when Big Papa used to go up to bat, he would have intro music. And I wanted something like that. And so Sully recorded an original piece of music for me, produced it all, played the drums, played guitar, recorded it all at home, mastered it, did the whole thing, and sent it to me. And it's fucking awesome. And the music, it's about 90 seconds long, and it is called War Drums because he was inspired by the War Room. And War Drums was recorded in 107.3 beats a minute. That's the tempo of it, as a tribute to WAF. And so if you listen to the trailer of the podcast, which is the intro of it, explaining who I am and what the podcast is going to be, that music that is behind it, that kick-ass fucking music, is original Sully from Godsmack music that he gave me as a gift. So that is now my new motherfucking theme song. So I'm like Big Papi. I mean, we're basically the same person. Or I'm like The Rock. I can do the eyebrow. I bet I don't smell as delicious as The Rock, though, because he smells delicious. Don't even deny it. If you've ever smelled The Rock, I need you to explain to me in detail exactly how he smells. And if I'm creeping you out right now and making you feel skeevy, I apologize. I just want to fucking know what he smells like, okay? I had a radio show and I couldn't get him on. And now I have a podcast and it's going to take a while. But me and The Rock, we're going to get there, bro. It's going to happen because I love you. What's up, Stu? Hey, Brian. Okay, so that's the news about the podcast. Good news, bad news. I told you the whole show is going to be packed with good news and bad news. Good news is I think we're over 600 shirts. Before I came upstairs, I was printing more labels. And I got to the point where I had to change the roll of blank labels in the Dymo printer. And that tells me that I believe we got over 600 orders in. But I don't have an exact number yet, but I should get closer. The bad news is you can only get the shirts till 11:59 this Sunday night. And then this version of the Cocktails in the War Room shirt, over. So these are going to be the OGs. And so if you want to get them, you better order them before Sunday night. Because then the next time the Cocktails in the War Room t-shirts are available, it's most likely going to have a different back. And that's how we're going to know who was really there in the beginning and who wasn't. So if you smell what The Rock is cooking. Yeah, I know, Rodney. I want to smell exactly what The Rock is cooking. I bet he smells like tequila and awesomeness. Okay. Good news, bad news. Good news. Dropkick Murphys streaming out of Fenway tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. On all of their social media channels, so you can watch them live on Facebook, on YouTube, all of it. That's happening tomorrow. Bad news, and I am crushed for all of the runners. For the first time in 124 years, they have canceled the Boston Marathon. I can't believe they canceled the Boston Marathon, which was supposed to take place in September after being postponed from April, as we are all very well aware. I cannot explain to you, if you are a first-time runner that was, say, running for a charity and spent the winter fundraising and training in frigid temperatures to be ready to run your first marathon, and the culmination of all of that hard work and dedication that the Boston Marathon demands. I know how hard it was for me. The fundraising was easier than the training, mostly because you guys were so helpful. The radio station was there helping me. The guys from Shinedown were there helping me. And we raised over $17,000 from my marathon run last year. I am not a runner. I've explained the issues with my legs to you guys in past episodes. So the training was really difficult. And the 20-mile training run, which is the longest run in the training program, was 3 weeks before the actual marathon, and I bruised one of my patellar tendons and was very nervous that I wasn't going to be able to run the race. Training for the Boston Marathon, especially if it's your first marathon, is emotionally draining and taxing. If you're not running as a charity runner, but if you are a runner that has always dreamed that you were going to travel to Boston, as thousands of runners from around the world do, and you qualified for Boston someplace else, and you literally planned your whole year. There are marathons around the country that have a bell at the finish line. And if you come in a qualifying time for Boston, you get to ring the bell. People that grow up around here, I don't think, I mean, we all know, because we're fucking from Boston, that we're the best people on the planet. That's why everyone hates us, because we're cocky pricks. But we all know that the marathon is special because we grow up around it if you grew up in New England, especially from Massachusetts. But I think sometimes we forget how important that race is internationally. There are runners that literally train all year to run another race to try and qualify for Boston. And there are hearts broken all around the world right now, not just here at home, that the marathon has been canceled for the first time in 124 years. And I am so heartbroken for all of those people, because when they said that they were going to postpone it, I was here in the war room telling you guys, runners, keep training, keep running, and we will be there at the finish line for you. And I know what it feels like to stand at the start and be scared shitless that you won't finish, and to have the weight and the pressure of all of the people that supported you along the way, that donated to your fundraising, that are at certain mile markers along the route, that are waiting for you at the finish. For me, I had a live broadcast at the finish line waiting, so not finishing wasn't really an option. I know what that pressure feels like, and then I know what an emotional toll that 26.2 miles takes on you. But I also know what it feels like to turn off of Hereford Street and onto Boylston. And I know what it feels like to cross that finish line. And today they made that announcement and they denied those thousands of runners that feeling. And I am heartbroken for you. I count myself lucky that I got to run it once in my life. I'll never do it again because it sucks. It's awful. It's one of the hardest things I've ever done. But I wouldn't give up that opportunity and that experience for anything, because I know what that feeling is. I know what it feels like to be at the start with the thousands of other people that are feeling exactly like you. And I know what it feels like to run through Hopkinton and to get into Framingham and get into the hills. It was pouring rain, freezing cold, and windy as fuck. And I'm in the middle of the hills. And people were doing shots of Fireball and screaming my name and telling me that I was going to finish. And all I can say to anybody that was supposed to run is that the race will still be here next year and that we will all still be here. And I am just heartbroken for you. I am so sorry that this isn't going to be your year, because I was really convinced that even though they postponed it, that that you were going to get that feeling. And I'm just so sorry. Delina says it's just not right. They need to reconsider. Delina, I believe the number of volunteers alone on race day is 5,000. And with the elite athletes and just the mechanisms that it takes, there's no way they canceled it if it was possible for them to run it, because it's just too big of a deal. And so I'm sure it was, Wendy says exactly what I was just going to say. I'm sure that was a very difficult decision for the BAA. You know the BAA didn't want to cancel it. You know it's the last thing they wanted. And I just am so heartbroken for all of you that might be watching this that were supposed to run it. And I feel awful. And I'm so sorry. If they reconsider and we get another surge in the fall, says Kim. Yeah, I mean, Sean says it's the right decision, but it sucks. I mean, I feel really bad. So on one hand, we're getting an awesome Dropkick Murphys concert tomorrow at Fenway. And on the other hand, we got a canceled marathon announcement today. And it just sucks. So I told you guys that this episode of Cocktails in the War Room was going to be all good news and bad news. The good news is I'm drinking Fernandez's sangria. The bad news is this is the last of my Fernandez's sangria. Thank you to all of you guys that are ordering shirts, by the way. Happy birthday, Uncle Mike. Sorry, I got to give Uncle Mike the shout out there because it's his birthday. Pat says safety first. Nancy says love my shirt and the goodies that came with it. Thank you. You rock, Nancy. Thank you so much for your order. Paula says I volunteered for 10 years. Best energy and favorite day in Boston. Yeah, it's amazing. And the dumpster fire that is 2020 continues. You can't social distance the tents, the registration, the onlookers, the runners. Ooh. Joe just commented how to find my podcast on radio.com. Thank you, Joe. You rule. I'm super excited that radio.com picked up the podcast, which is great. Good news and bad news. This is not going to make you happy, but I think it's a good thing in the long run. So I'll give you the bad news first. So I have decided that this coming Tuesday is going to be our last nightly gathering in the War Room. Now, we all knew that eventually it was going to happen. And I needed to kind of pick a date as to when we were going to transfer the War Room from being this nightly gathering into a weekly gathering. And I know that it's not going to be a popular decision, but I need to do it for a couple of reasons. Number one, you know, there's a lot going on with the podcast, and as things start to open up, it's getting harder for people to be able to maintain getting here every night because people are going back to work, which is great. I mean, the whole reason that we started this whole thing was that we were all locked down. And so I wanted to let you guys know what the plans are, and I wanted to give you some time to, yes, Amy, see you next Tuesday. So I wanted to let you guys know what I was thinking. I didn't just want to spring it on you and say, this is my last night or whatever. So here's the plan, is that obviously the podcast is going to take off soon. A lot of people are asking when the first episode is going to be, and it's going to be soon. I'm just trying to get interviews together and get it perfect. And so I don't know exactly when it's going to come. So that's taking a lot of my focus and my time. But I also told you guys that it's going to be difficult for me to actually be in the War Room every night at 8:30 as things start to open up and we're actually allowed to start leaving the house. I've talked to you guys in the past about how much I've been kind of quarantined and just kind of locked in the house by myself, working on my new studio and working on the podcast and starting my company, and then obviously all of the t-shirts. But I've also told you guys that it's been, it's being locked in the house has made things incredibly difficult when it comes to seeing my friends and family, especially, and also my relationship. And I am finally going to be able to take a trip. And so I am going to be traveling to finally go and see my boyfriend, who I haven't seen in over 3 months because of all of this. And so that is why next Tuesday has to be the last night, because Wednesday night I will not be here in the War Room. And so I wanted you guys to understand why. That tonight is number 76 in a row. By the time next week comes around, we'll be in the 80s. And I really need to go and spend some time with my boyfriend and, you know, refresh my brain and kind of reconnect. And I need that minute. I have been going through so much on this emotional roller coaster with all of you guys since, you know, February 21st when we signed off the air at WAF. And I'm finally going to allow myself to take a few days and unwind and really kind of unplug. So that's the bad news. Here's the good news. Well, actually, there's one more piece of bad news, but it's not that bad for you. So my friend Dave, who I talked about last night, remember the guy with the 103-year-old grandmother that just kicked coronavirus's ass and was chugging the Bud Light on TV? So he was supposed to help me troubleshoot the new equipment that I bought to raise the production value of the War Room, and we were going to do it today. And his grandmother's become so fucking famous that he's literally become her manager, and he's scheduling all of her interviews with all of the national and international press that has been calling to interview her. So I'm just dying inside that it's the funniest fucking most random thing that's ever happened. So we weren't able to troubleshoot the equipment today. The good news is that we're scheduled to do it either over the weekend or early next week, which is going to make the War Room so much cooler. And one of the things that's going to allow me to do is to have guests. which is the good news. So I told you that it was going to be all good news and bad news today. I apologize for dragging you along, but next Tuesday, which is going to be our last nightly Cocktails in the War Room, I'm committed to doing it once a week, but if we need to do it more than once a week, if something's going on and we need to talk about it or whatever, trust me, if I'm in the War Room, I'm letting you guys know about it. But next Tuesday night will be the first time that I'm going to have a co-host in the War Room. And it's going to be Mike motherfucking Shue. Mike Shue joining us live in the War Room coming up on Tuesday. Yeah. I'll pause for reaction. So I wanted to make the last night special, the last nightly night special. Bridget, I'm trying to get Dave's grandmother on my podcast. Trust me, I'm working on it. So I hope you guys are excited that Mike Shue is going to join me. He's going to be, I wanted Mike to be the first guest in the War Room. I wanted to be able to sit down and have cocktails with him and hang out with him. And I wanted all of you guys to be able to be there. And I didn't want to wait to tell you because I wanted you to be able to make plans. So put it on your motherfucking calendars because I am so excited that Mike Shue is going to join me in the War Room. And Dave is saying a special extended episode. Listen, if Mike's in the War Room with me and he and I are drinking Fernandez's sangria or whatever the hell else is going on, I have no idea when this episode is going to end. I have no idea what is going to happen, but I really wanted you guys to get he and I back together and to be able to experience it. And hopefully by Tuesday night, I will have the new production so that you'll be able to get a taste of what the new show in the War Room is going to look like. I'm really working hard to make you guys proud, and I really want you to love Cocktails in the War Room. And like I said, I'm committing to once a week. But let's say that I, am asking a musician or somebody to join us in the War Room, whether it be in person or to be able to bring them in from wherever they are, because I will have that ability. If they're not available on the night that I had planned, but they're available on another night, well, guess what? We're getting bonus Cocktails in the War Room episodes that week. That's just how it's going to work. Producer Mike says, ain't no Temple Tuesday with Mike Shue. No, we might have to do Mocktail Monday next week so that Mike Shue and I can drink on Tuesday. Be there or be square, Mike says, exactly. Shue must have sangria. I know, I might have to hit Fernandez up and have him hook me up with an emergency bucket of sangria so that Mike Shue can taste it. So I want you guys to know how much I'm going to miss us getting together every night. Ooh, limoncello. That's a good idea, Daniel. But at the same time, there are going to be a lot of other ways that we're going to be able to interact, and a lot of different ways that you guys are going to be able to see what I have going on. Obviously, the podcast is going to be a huge focus for me. But as you're very well aware, I just started a YouTube channel, which I haven't even put anything up there yet because I haven't had time because I've been stuffing so many t-shirt envelopes. Thank you guys very much. So I'm going to have the YouTube channel. I'm going to have the podcast. There's a lot of stuff going on, and trust me, you guys are going to get sick of having me around so much. But I really wanted to keep Cocktails in the War Room going because I love it so much. I love hanging out with you guys. I don't know what Wednesday's barking at. I don't. Wednesday! It could be anything. It could be a bunny. I have a lot of bunnies in the yard this year for some reason. I don't know. It could be somebody driving by. It could be a leaf blowing down the driveway. Who the hell knows? To Wednesday, they're all serial killers. It just doesn't matter. What are you barking at? Everybody wants to know what you're barking at. Never mind the fact that I love the fact that you guys all love her so much. Like, it makes me so happy that you guys are just as invested with Wednesday as you are with me. Like, she has this whole extended family now. Thank you, David, who just said the podcast trailer is fantastic. I'm really proud of it. I think the podcast is going to be amazing. And like I said, right now I'm committed to doing the podcast every week. I'm committed to doing cocktails in the War Room every week. But these things are not written in stone. If the podcast requires more than once a week eventually, then that's what we'll do. And if Cocktails in the War Room requires extra episodes and more cocktails, then that's what we're going to do. This is all new. You know, everybody uses the terms like new normal because of the coronavirus. This is my new normal pre-coronavirus. I'm trying to figure out my life and all the things that I want to do that are going to involve you guys before the coronavirus. Once the virus is gone and everybody can stop social distancing and stop wearing masks, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with the rest of my life because I don't have my radio station anymore. So, we love her and the fucking Stingray, says Christina. God, I love you guys. Is her toy basket full? Yeah. And before we get done tonight, I'll go in the other room because I meant to bring it in here tonight and get her toy basket so you can see that new basket and all of the stuff that's in it. So today, while we were stuffing t-shirts, her toy basket is like over by the dining room table. She climbed in there and started digging through it for the specific blue bone that she wanted to chew. Like, I was like, what are you doing? She started whining and then she was like, fuck this. And she got up inside the toy basket and started digging around. And then when she found what she wanted, she jumped out and just started gnawing on it on the floor. And me and my mom and my aunt were dying laughing because we were packing t-shirts while it was happening. So I hope you guys aren't mad. I hope you're understanding that, we knew that this was going to happen. And I hope that you guys all understand that for me, like, it's been incredibly hard to go through everything that's happened in the last 3 months and to do it by myself. And you guys have seen me melt down many times because it's really hard to, not only be dealing with everything that the world has been throwing at all of us, and myself included, but to then not have the person that you rely on the most to be able to be there with you. And, all I can tell you is that he's in the military and the military is not allowed to travel right now. And so that's part of the reason why I haven't been able to see him, is that I haven't been able to travel and he hasn't been able to travel and we have not been able to be together. And it's been really hard to go through one of the biggest losses of my entire life in my radio station and to not have that person here to be able to console me and be here the way that he's wanted to be here. And so he can still not travel. And so the only option is for me to travel. And I really hope that you guys understand that it's time. Like I could really use that hug and that support. And so I just wanted you guys to understand that it's not because I don't want to do it anymore or anything. It's just I need a few days to just and clear my head and to just be able to Netflix and chill and actually have some chill, less Netflix and more chill, and not just all the Netflix and none of the chilling. That's what I'm looking forward to. So the timeline looks like this. If you bought your t-shirt between last Monday and now, that second order of t-shirts, Sunday night at midnight when we shut the links down, I'm submitting the t-shirt order to Brian on Monday. When I get home, because I'm only going to be gone a few days, when I get home, Brian will have the t-shirts done. We've already pre-stuffed most of the envelopes and I'm printing the labels out now so that as soon as I get home, we'll be able to ship out all of the rest of the t-shirts. I bring it up because a lot of people have been asking about the donation to the charity. And you guys will see when you start getting your t-shirts that the postage is like weird denominations, like $5.30 or $5.45 or whatever it is. So I can't predict what the donation to the charity is going to be until all of the shirts have shipped out, because it's hard for me to factor Wednesday. It's hard for me to factor what the donation is going to be, because the price of the shipping is not only the weight of the package, but the distance it's traveling. And so it is impossible for me to factor how much money to leave aside for shipping and then make the donation to the charity. So I want to ship all of the shirts and then have the amount left over and then be able to cut them one check. And I'm going to reach out to them and go down and take the picture and show everybody that all of the donation money went to exactly where it belongs. And so that's why I haven't made the charity donation yet, is because the shipping has been the variable I can't predict. Wednesday! Most of the time, if people order more than one shirt, I've tried to match them up, because you're doing separate transactions for every shirt, because that saves us on shipping, which means more money for the charity, which has been great. Yeah, so Elsa says mine was $5.80. Like, it's still cheaper. The flat rate envelopes were $7.75. And that's whatever you can cram into that envelope, but it's saving the money by me literally letting them parcel ship these and weigh every individual one, because it's saving on average about $2 or a little more than $2 per t-shirt to ship it. And all that money's going to the charity. So that's why it's taking a little bit longer. Yeah, so Monica says mine was $5.30. Have all the t-shirts from the first order been mailed? Debbie, you missed me signing off. There's 50 left that are packaged and in bins in my car, and they are being brought to the post office tomorrow morning. And otherwise, I spent 3 hours at the post office today, and we sent hundreds of shirts just today. So the lion's share of you guys will have them by Saturday. And I'm hoping that the ones that go out tomorrow morning, you'll have those by Saturday. And if you don't get them by Saturday, you'll have all of them by Monday. Yeah, Carol says mine was $4.60. Can't make a donation until all the sales are accounted for. Exactly. So I've got to get all of the packages shipped. And then I'll be able, because it's impossible to predict what it's going to cost to ship them all. But the reason why I did it this way, again, is it's the cheapest way to ship them, which means more money for the charity. So I don't mind the waiting, and the charity's been fine. They haven't called or anything. They understand that this is what's happening. And so I'm hoping to get the second round of shirts shipped starting on June 10th and 11th. I'm hoping by June 12th, all of the shirts will be in the mail. And then I will have an exact amount of money that I'll be able to cut the check to the charity. And then what I think I'm going to do is try to join them at one of their donation sites, so that I can see the operation in person on how they're distributing the food to the veterans, and to be able to present the check, which I'm hoping. It's really hard, because every time I talk about the t-shirts, I get notifications that we sold more. But I'm hoping that we can get close, like $5,000, I feel like would be an amazing donation. But it's just, there's too much math for me right now. There's too many variables. We're still selling shirts. We're still shipping shirts. It's a lot. But we're doing awesome. And I think we're surprising everyone with the amount of, I got charged $26. Yeah, you got charged $26. And the t-shirts and the shipping and the envelopes and all, there's expenses that go along with all of them. Tom. And then when things start clearing up, then yes, I will get these guys on the podcast and we'll talk about it. And I don't drink when I do math. I don't drink when I pack the t-shirts. I don't drink when I'm dealing with the money. That is 100% sober, because I don't want to fuck it up. Sean, you're right. Math is hard. So I will let you guys know everything that's going on, and I'm pretty excited about all of it. So I know that, I've given you guys some bad news. The ordering of it was easy. Thank you very much, Jen. The fulfillment of it hasn't been bad. Like I said, we misordered 3 shirts out of 414 in the first order. But going through the ordering process and the labeling process and the packaging process and all of that, I know what I'm doing now. Trial by fire, seriously. It's a joke. You missed COD cash on delivery on top of the previous payments. Oh, you guys are killing me. I thought you guys were being serious for a second. Now you guys are having conversations amongst yourselves and I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. Eric says math is fun, mental. Yeah, exactly. But I'm super excited about you guys getting them. I love seeing your pictures wearing all the shirts. It was so funny to see my mom and my aunt wearing their shirts today, packing the shirts. They're like Santa's twisted elves. It's just been cool. And you know what? I got to be honest, like, it's given me a really cool excuse to sit around the dining room table with my mom and my aunt and just make small talk while we're stuffing envelopes. Like, it's been a gift and it's been really, really cool. And you guys made it happen by ordering all of these shirts. So Jessica says, who else is buzzed? It's been a long night. All right, so a lot of you guys are asking about my t-shirt. So this is our Friday Night Fright shirt. That is our Halloween party and costume contest, Static X, Dope, and Dogfight that took place on October 31st, 2003 at Club Lido in Revere. And that is my old AAF Static X, Dope, and Dogfight shirt that I dug out of the archives today. It's pretty badass. We had an era of shows where we had a graphics guy that was really, really talented and made really cool posters and awesome t-shirts for all of those holiday, whether it be the Christmas shows we had or the Halloween shows we had. And I've got some of the posters framed downstairs and the t-shirts are cool. And so that's what I dug out of the archives for you guys tonight. So Trina says, totally buzzed. Take pics of the kitchen production line. I need to, change the names to protect the innocent, especially with my mom. She doesn't need to get harassed. But I will, because it's pretty hilarious. And they do it around the dining room table. And it's like, the bumper stickers and the this, and we're yelling at each other back and forth. And they're yelling at me that I'm not signing the pictures fast enough. And that's holding up the production line. And it's the last couple days of packing the shirts with my mom and my aunt have been awesome. I got to tell you. And I'm looking forward to having to do it all over again when the new shipment of shirts comes in from Brian. So it's one of those things. It's like a happy accident. Like the War Room's been a happy accident. The t-shirts were kind of a happy accident. And being able to, hang out in the house and pack these shirts, it's a happy accident. It's been really awesome. And I don't know about Annie Ange and the sangria. So she didn't drink it last night. I asked her today and she's like, I didn't have it yet. And I said, okay. So, oh my God, Photoshop the Golden Girls faces on them. That just might do that. But I don't think that she drank the sangria yet because I don't think that she wanted to drink it alone. So I think she was waiting until she had some company. I don't, maybe she wanted to be supervised because she didn't want to be drinking all of this stuff by herself. I don't know. Michelle says, you're lucky that your mom and your aunt are helping. Oh, you have no idea. If they weren't, a third of you guys would have gotten your shirts by now and that's it. They're helping to pack all the envelopes, and then I'm the one standing in line at the post office, can I just tell you guys how interesting And what a social experiment and an observation it has been to spend hours at the post office every day. First of all, people are fucking weird. And I don't know why, but the weird people are congregating at the post office. It's like they've got nowhere else to go and no one else to talk to. So they just want to go to the post office and talk to the people at the counter. Like, I have seen some of the weirdest conversations. I have also seen people now, everybody groans when I walk into the post office because I've got bins of envelopes to mail, right? But there are people, like I watched a guy at the post office today. He walked in with a pair of sneakers in a sneaker box, okay? Nothing addressed, no labels. It wasn't wrapped in like the brown packing paper. It wasn't in a shipping box. And he literally like handed it to the dude behind the counter. Was like, I want to ship these. The guy waited in line for like 20 minutes at the post office and gets to the counter and they're like, okay, well, you need to do this, this, and this. Go over there and fill out these forms and then come back when it's all done. And he got pissed. It's like, bro, you can't walk up to the counter at the post office with a box of Nikes and not have them ready. Like, you have to have your stuff. When I walk in there, all business. Bins, they're all the envelopes are in the same order. They're labeled, they're sealed, they're ready to go. I have watched people try to mail the weirdest shit. And the other thing I noticed, there's a lot of people buying money orders for a lot of money. Where is all this money going? People are going in there and they're like, I need a money order. How much money do you need? $4,000? And everybody in line's like, and there is a remarkable amount of people that are getting their passports right now. And maybe it's just me because I don't spend that much time at the post office, but it's literally like the epicenter of the world. I have spent so much time just people watching. Like, if you guys if there were a reality show on Netflix of the post office, you guys would be like, I wouldn't fucking watch that. Yes, you would. Because there are some characters, and because they're all wearing masks, it's even crazier. It's like a Rob Zombie movie in there. It really is weird and hilarious. And when I get up to the counter, they're happy it's me. Even though I'm going to keep them busy for 10 minutes with all of your t-shirts, they're like, oh, it's just Carrie. We know what we're doing. We just have to do this 50 times and then she'll leave. And then what happens is they do a bin of the shirts, right? And then the line builds up at the post office. And I can hear everyone motherfucking behind me, but I'm like, I don't give a shit. We're doing this for the veterans. Go fuck yourself. And then when they finish, I go outside, refill the bins with the t-shirts, because I've got all of them stacked up in my car in boxes. And then I come back in and get back in line again. And so as I'm in line, the people that were behind me are walking by, seeing me in line again with full bins again. And they're like, what the hell is this crazy purple-haired girl in the mask doing? I'm telling you, I should be filming this whole thing, but there's a sign in the post office that says I can't film. It doesn't say Mistress Carrie can't film. It says nobody can film because it's a federal building, but it's friggin' hilarious. If you ever have enough free time, just go stand in the post office and just watch what the fuck is going on. It's insane. Thank you for that happy accident as well. I never would have known how crazy the post office was if I wasn't spending hours there every afternoon trying to get you guys your t-shirts. I told them today, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And then you won't see me for, I don't know, like a week and a half. And you're going to be missing me. And then I'll be back with more shirts. So today, I go to the post office. Because, you know, there's like the people at the counter, right? And then there's all the people that are doing the crazy work in the back. That are sorting everything and whatever. So I go in there today. Everybody out back was wearing AAF shirts. Like, they all found old school AAF shirts and everyone in the back of the post office because they heard that I've been coming in every day. And then everybody that works at the post office was like, tell us where you guys are selling these t-shirts that we're all mailing because we want to buy them. So the people at the post office have been fucking badass. I'm telling you, they have been so awesome. House of 1,000 postal corpses. Do you have any newfound respect for the marketing department? Yeah. Not only that, but I now understand how Jeff Bezos got so rich. Because if you have a company and you want to sell shit and you don't want to deal with the fulfillment side of it, there's a company for you. Like, that's what Amazon does, is that if you have a company and you want to sell your stuff, you just sell it through Amazon and they deal with all the stuff. It's no wonder he makes so much money, because the fulfillment end of it, the stuffing of the envelopes, the packaging it, the getting it shipped, all of that, it's time consuming. And it's hilarious, like watching the whole mechanism go. But when you guys get your envelopes with your t-shirts in them, you need to know that every single part of that whole process like happened in my dining room, and happened because I brought it down to the post office. Like, this isn't Jeff Bezos shit. This is Mistress Carrie shit. We go old school and we go hard, because literally I have spent way too much time at the post office. Like, I think the post office is starting to do things to my brain. It's giving me ideas, like crazy, weird, creepy ideas. Like, I'll be standing there and listening, and like people get mad and they're like yelling at the post office people. And I'm invested in the post office people now because I've spent so much time with them. So now, like, when people get mouthy with the post office people have to be nice because they're at work and they're government employees. But the purple-haired girl with the mask on with all the envelopes full of the t-shirts, she doesn't have to be nice. And so I'll be like, hey, Carol, can you just take a step back and take a deep breath? Calm down. Stop yelling at the post office people. They're working as hard as they can. Rosie says, just ordered my t-shirt. See? Now I got to go back to the post office because of Rosie. That's how it works. It's been hilarious. And it's been because of you. Tom, I know you want your envelope. It's coming. Creepy ideas. Yeah, like it makes me want to do a reality show with the post office people that are in line. It's also you know how there's that website, The People of Walmart, because people wear crazy outfits to Walmart? One of the crazy ideas is the people of the post office, because people go to the post office wearing weird things. And I'm not talking about the masks. We're all wearing masks now. But the people in line at the post office, it's weird, man. It's a whole other part of society I didn't know was going on. And then there's all kinds of people like me that walk in there with bins of packages, right? And like, I know what's in my envelopes. They're the cocktails and the WarRoom t-shirts. But then you start seeing all these other people that you know are running businesses out of their houses, and they're mailing all of these packages in their weird shapes. And so now I'm trying to figure out what the hell they're selling. And I'm like, what are they selling out of their house that's that shape? And then I start thinking to myself, like, is she making dildos? Is that what that woman is making? This woman, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? She packaged all the things, and they were in this like weird avocado envelope thing. And they were all these really weird shapes. And I was like, is Linda, the woman at the post office with all of the avocado envelopes, is she selling homemade dildos at the post office? Like, what is Linda doing right now? Because Linda is mailing a lot of very odd shaped, like, you guys' envelopes look normal. Like, you know that I'm not shipping dildos in those envelopes. But Linda at the post office yesterday, she might have been shipping dildos. She was shipping something weird. I don't know what it was. But I'm telling you, it's really weird what's going on at the post office every day. Bag of dicks, Paula says. Still funny. Still funny. So anyway, it's been an experience. Like, and then I start making up stories in my head about the people that come in just to empty their post office boxes. Because I know what happens when I go to empty my post office box, and I know that people are probably looking at me making up stories about what I'm pulling out of my post office box. So now, producer Mike says, imagine being the dicks by mail dude, mailing all of the exploding dicks. Dicks again, John. That's why I wanted to be embedded with in a war zone with him, because he's fucking funny. I'm telling you, the inner monologue, because I just wait in line at the post office all day, and there's a whole television show going on in my brain. It's just weird. But the people at the post office have been amazing. So I want those guys to know that you guys are awesome, and I know that you're working super hard. And thank you guys for helping me mail out all of these t-shirts and to raise all of this money. For anybody that just bought their t-shirts, I want to remind you guys that all of the money the profits of the sale of the t-shirts, once we pay to produce them and all of that and ship them, is going to the Massachusetts Military Support Foundation and their Food for Vets program. And so you're being incredibly generous by buying your shirts, but I also want to get the word out on this if you're a veteran that needs food assistance. Or if you have a veteran in the family, especially if they are immunocompromised or they are elderly and they are still nervous about going out in public, that these food distribution locations are doing amazing work. They have volunteers packing up boxes of non-perishable food that are good for 2 people for 2 weeks, 3 meals a day. You have to register online. So if you have an older veteran that might need some technical help going online, you may want to lend Grandpa a hand. Agawam, Baldwinville, Barnstable, Bridgewater, Brighton, Danvers, Devons, Fall River, Foxborough, Framingham, Haverhill, Methuen, North Adams, Randolph, Raynham, Sandwich, and Westport. And those are just the locations in Massachusetts. And that's where all the profits of the sale of the cocktails and the WarRoom t-shirts are going. You have until 11:59 on Sunday night. As soon as it becomes June, the shirt links are coming down, and we're going to finalize the order with T-Shirt Brian and get them all ordered up and shipped out as quick as I can. Who's babysitting Wednesday? Wednesday's napping. She knocked 2 out of the 5 or 6 pillows off the couch, and then she went in the other room and laid down. Let's see. Paul says, I saw some chairs on a yard sale page nearby, wooden chairs with black velvet and red skulls. And then your message says to be continued, and I can't open it. Michelle says, my father-in-law is a World War II veteran, Mistress Carrie. Well, Michelle, these are the exact people. The organization told me that their volunteers have been overwhelmingly under the age of 50, and that a lot of the veterans that they've been distributing food to are over the age of 65. So this is the greatest generation we're taking care of. These are the Vietnam vets that we're taking care of. These are the people we're trying to protect by social distancing and wearing masks and staying home. And they're also the people that are on fixed incomes or might be having some financial difficulties right now and could really use some food assistance. And that is what these t-shirts are going to do, which is pretty awesome. And you guys fucking rule for ordering so many t-shirts. So June 2nd will be the announcement for the next t-shirt order. I am making the t-shirt order Monday morning, June 1st. I'm shutting the links off at midnight on Sunday, which is the 31st, and T-Shirt Brian is getting the order first thing Monday morning. And that's all the shirts we're ordering. So if you want them, you got to order them between now and Sunday night. And then I need the shirts to come in, and I need to ship them all before I can make the charitable donation, because the shipping is the variable cost. The t-shirts, I know how much they cost. I know all of the other costs along the way, but the shipping is the variable. And so I've got to get them all shipped. And then whatever money is left over is going straight to the charity. So there you go. All right, guys, just to recap, next Tuesday is our last nightly meeting, which I know is going to suck. But to make it better, we will be joined live right here, drinking, making fun of my dog, talking smack, whatever the hell else he's going to do. Mike Shue is going to join us live in the War Room on Tuesday. And I can't fucking wait. It is going to be awesome. So if you didn't order your t-shirts yet, do it now. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, do that too. The Mistress Carrie podcast is available on Apple. It's available on Google. It's available on Spotify. It is now available on radio.com. It's also available on TuneIn, on Deezer, on Stitcher, on Overcast, soon to be available on iHeart and Pandora, but I am waiting for final approval on those. So please subscribe to the podcast. I have huge plans. You guys are going to love all of the stuff that we're going to do together. Cocktails in the War Room is going to continue. And the Mistress Carrie YouTube channel is also there if you guys want to check that out as well. So we are going to be busy. Birthdays and a cocktail. John Fogerty, 75 motherfucking years old. Cheers to him. And a cocktail before I go. Dun, dun, dun. We did that one already. Did we do the multiple orgasm? I don't think we did. That woke Wednesday up. Okay, the drink recipe tonight is the multiple orgasm. How you doing? An ounce of gold tequila. 2/3 of an ounce of amaretto. Huge fan. 2/3 of an ounce of coffee liqueur. 2/3 of an ounce of Irish cream liqueur. An ounce of heavy double cream. I apologize to all the people that hate cream and eggs or eggs in their drink recipes. And 2 ounces of half and half. It's got heavy cream and half and half. Shake the ingredients, accept the tequila, strain into an ice-filled highball glass, and then float the tequila on top and serve. And that is called a multiple orgasm. But you better be getting a multiple orgasm without a lot of effort, because you can't ingest those dairy products and then get super physically active, because you'll probably puke. Good night, Tom. You'll get your t-shirt soon. We packed it specifically for you, I promise. Wednesday's awake. Oh, I know. She's screaming in the other room. All right, guys. I love you guys. I'll meet you here tomorrow night. All of the rest of the t-shirts are going out tomorrow morning. Keep the pictures coming. Get your t-shirts. Put them on. Tweet me at Mistress Carrie. Tag me on Instagram at Mistress Carrie WAF. I really want to see you guys in your t-shirts. I love them. Wear them with pride. You guys are the OGs, man. We got through a friggin' global pandemic together. The t-shirt's the badge of honor. 100%. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you.